Hey. So, check this out. The Army Corps of Engineers is not building the wall in the way that you think they're building the wall. When people go, the Army Corps of Engineers is building the wall. We knew it the whole time. What do you think that means? What do you mean you knew it the whole time? What did you know? That they were involved? That's like saying the contracting company basically like, "Hey, I hired, Jim's home builders and Jim's building my house." Is he? Is Jim building your house? Is Jim doing the plumbing, the electrical? Is he painting? Is he doing the framing? Is he doing the roofing? Is he doing the landscaping? Is he pouring the cement for? No, I don't think so. Jim subcontracts out all of that. Yeah, he gets paid by you, but then he goes and pays a bunch of subs. So, what does that mean? That means that the Army Corps engineers are not the guys out there swinging hammers. What it means, let's scroll down here. No, let's just look over here. How about that? The facts. This is actually an excerpt from an article that was trying to fact check something that the president said. So, um, he can't award construction contracts. That's what they're claiming. It says the U.S. Customs and Border Protection and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers awards contracts for the border wall construction after Congress approves funding, and months have gone into planning. In March, Congress approved funding for 33 miles of construction in southern Texas's Rio Grande Valley, the busiest corridor for illegal border crossings. CBP announced in November that construction in the Rio Grande Valley would begin in February, right now, including at the nonprofit National Butterfly Center, a state park, and privately owned ranches and farmland. So, what does that mean? That means that you can find contracts for things that are happening at the National Butterfly Center. Okay, that's a search term, right? A state park. Well, that's not going to be too hard to get on a Google map and find out where all the state parks in Texas are that are right on the border. And then privately owned ranches. Again, sweep the border, find out anything about eminent domain, and then you'll know that the government has taken people's land or contracted out with them to lease the land or whatever it is, 99-year leases or what have you, and farmland. Not much of a difference, unless it's government farmland. In that case, they do what they want, I guess. Let's keep going. So, we talk about the funding. Congress approved funding for 33 miles. They've approved funding for a lot more, actually. But what did they do this year, or I guess last year or whatever? Didn't we have funding approved by Congress? The Omnibus bill? Everyone remember that? Wasn't that largest military spending bill ever? It's a big defense budget. Is a wall a good line of defense? Oh my lord. Let's go further. So anyway, here's actually some stuff about it. It says Trump asked Tuesday who received the contracts. Different people, highly bid. The facts. CBP announced in November that Galveston, Texas-based company SLSCO won the two contracts with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. SLSCO apparently is pretty big. I found some extra stuff about them doing some like pod housing or something like that in New York. It seemed like the same people. It's an SLSCO address, blah blah blah. But it looks like it's also like a father son or a family company. But it says that they got their projects in the Rio Grande Valley. Contract notices posted online. Again, you can find these things if you look. Say that 3 bids were solicited online and received for each contract. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is working with CBP to plan and build the wall. And then obviously over here, let's scroll down. Oh, here we go. So he's talking about 115 miles that were given out yesterday, and this is a while back that this article was in here. and this is the article, so you can check it out later. This is actually, well, not a while back. It's Christmas of last year that this appeared. But they're fact checking them and they say it's unclear where the figure of 115 miles is coming from. According to DHS, the March funding from Congress will pay for 84 miles. Wasn't it just like 33 somewhere up here? 33? That's in the Rio Grande, right? 84 miles along the southern border, including the 33 miles for Texas. And if the administration gets the $5 billion it's requested, DHS says it would build 215 miles that it considers the highest priority, including 159 miles in Texas. If you add up 84 and 33, you get pretty darn close to this. But they're saying that this 33 is included in the 84. Not sure about that. Whether DHS got a great price on the 33 miles is up for debate. 33, I mean, come on. Let's be honest here. 2 contracts announced by CBP to build 14 of those miles total $313 million, or roughly $22 million per mile. There's already 653 miles of border fence in place built under the Secure Fence Act, passed in 2006. CBP estimated in 2015 that the total cost to build that mileage was $2.3 billion, about half, or roughly $3.5 million a mile. Many of those miles were built with less complicated designs, i.e. easier to get through, or on easier terrain than where CBP wants to build now. And again, you can go to this article here and see all of those excerpts that I have. But what you can also do is go to this acquisition gateway. This is for the GSA. This is a government contracts website. This is like their forecasting, and it's searchable. If you put this link in, you might have to refresh it. I had done it and it worked for me earlier. But let's just see it again. Yeah. Gonna make me do it again, but that's all right. I already got it up still. So if you search for CBP and I'm in the, oh no, that's not good. Oh man, are they getting me? Don't get me. All right. If you search for okay, here we go. Border. Cool. Border, you get a few things. This is a Department of Homeland Security, ICE, a basement facility that needs some tenant improvement, interior alteration to existing basement floor, new partitions, doors, ceilings, light fixtures, and finishes. So this is a renovation project for a large building. I think I looked, 20,000 square feet, so pretty decent sized building, or well, basement at least, so that's the footprint obviously. And this is in Los Angeles, and I had a poster or a commenter actually on a different video I was commenting on, and they had replied that they are a contractor in Los Angeles and they're working, I guess, on a renovation project in LA because apparently there's going to be an influx of business as far as holding people, or not holding people, I guess the Department of Homeland Security, the CBP stuff. If I remember, I'll put a screenshot of that in there. This stuff's here is really interesting. This is a tactical aerostat system, so they're going to use these instead of drones, and they're saying, the place of performances for this is multiple locations and sites along the southern United States border and U.S. territories. D.C. So District of Columbia, they're going to also use these in D.C. Interesting. And what they are is they're basically drones. And so when I think of drones, I think of like sleek, aerodynamic, like stealthy, like high tech. Like a lot of those words come to mind when I think drones. But so let's see what these look like. They're blimps. They're friggin' blimps. So, but apparently they're super fast to deploy. That's one great thing about them. Let's make sure my microphone's on here. Good. Super fast to deploy. Very inexpensive. And obviously big enough to carry Zeppelin. Big enough to carry cargo or people. So if we need to pick a person up and take them somewhere or drop something in, okay, it can happen. We got it. We got these TASs. So let's go. Nationwide multiple IDIQ construction and repair alterations. Place of performance various sites within the United States, including Puerto Rico, Texas. What's in Puerto Rico, Texas? Puerto Rico, Texas. Where are you at? Looks like a beautiful place. Oh, wow. Puerto Rico, Texas. Oh, that's the southern border right there. That is Mexico. And, oh, zoom back in, bro. And Puerto Rico, Texas. So what is in Puerto Rico, Texas? Do they have? Well, let's just see what's nearby. Restaurants, hotels, let's see. Detention center? There's one of those nearby? Oh, they got a few of them. Oh, of course you crashed. Hidalgo. Comuse, Juven. Well, let me use that. Yeah, good. Narrow my search. Ah, you didn't work, did you? Of course, they all have low ratings. That one's Rio Grande. That's pretty far away. Anyway, you don't care about this stuff right now, I'm sure. Anyway, somewhat close to the border, but these are IDIQ contracts. And what's an IDIQ contract? IDIQ is... Actually, that was a great graphic right there. I like that. Okay. IDIQ contracts are indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, and that means that the person that is putting out the saying like, hey, we want this contract filled, they don't know exactly how much and how often they're going to need something, but they just know it's going to be for a specified amount of time, or at least that's all they can tell you. So they're basically saying, hey, be on the ready, because in this chunk of time, we're going to basically put you on retainer, and we need X, Y, and Z, like lickety-split when we call. So they say it's an abbreviation for indefinite delivery and indefinite quantity. This is a type of contract that provides for an indefinite quantity of supplies or services during a fixed period of time. The legal origin, I don't care about that. IDIQs are also sometimes called task orders or delivery order contracts. IDIQ contracts are a subtype of indefinite delivery contract, which is a vehicle that has been awarded to one or more vendors to facilitate the delivery of supply and service orders. And IDIQ contracts are most often used for on-call service contracts, architect engineering services, and job order contracting. They're usually for a specified number of base years, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, GSA, find IDIQ stuff on there. And that's actually where we're looking. The GSA, Acquisition Gateway. So let's go and look for CBP. Anything with CBP. Same thing, that basement, because again, that basement I talked about earlier, that 20,000 square foot renovation project, that's for a Customs and Border Patrol or Border Protection service thing, blah, blah, blah. So again, CBP is using these aerosats. And then this is custodial and grounds for a Tucson, Arizona facility, the CBPHQ. So they're starting a new contract there. And it started, oh, this is an old one. Okay, cool. It started 9/1/16 and goes through 7/31/21. Let's just look at the details. Fixed price. Okay. Who is the Beacon Group? Interesting. Employment services for people with disabilities. This is the incumbent contractor name. Okay, okay. Anywho, so that's an option for you guys. You can look through there to again find your stuff. So IDIQ contracts. SCO, this is the company that was building the border wall. It talks about like 8 miles at one point, then it's more, and they were talking about, oh, it's 145 mil, then it's 167, but I see that it's actually 250 mil now at some point. Again, some more stuff about those contracts, the GSA, what region the stuff is happening. Again, these are all things that you can search or you can use to narrow your search. And then obviously, federal business opportunities, FedBizOps, is you can register for free. So if you were smart when you thought about the border wall, obviously that it takes a lot of people. It takes a village, to raise a boy or what have you. It takes a whole bunch of contractors to build a border wall. So you would have had to have known, like, who's renting the porta potties, who's renting the the supplies, who's buying the 2x4s, who's getting the metal, who's renting the trucks, who's supplying the fuel. All those things have to be paid for. And yeah, the Army Corps of Engineers and CBP fork out the cash for it or what have you, but who are they forking it out to? It has to be public record, so you should be able to find these things. Again, you can register for free on here, and you can actually set up a recurring search. So you can, I probably shouldn't have wrote that. Let's just Fers so I don't get in trouble. Hopefully no one saw that. So you can narrow it to look for certain kind of contracts within certain areas or certain types of contracts. So you could have known since like December or earlier, technically back in March of last year, April of last year, these things were going on. But whatever. Aerostats, we talked about that, and then just a bunch of different stuff about aerostats. I think that's how you say it. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. But let's look at oh, this is the old one. You don't really care about this one probably. Let's look at this one. Don't. So this is from February of 2017. And this is about the aerostats. So they use, wow, Custom Border Protection uses Predator B unmanned aerial systems for a variety of border security activities, but could benefit from documented coordination procedures in all operating locations. CBP uses its Predator B UAS to support a variety of efforts, such as missions to support investigations in collaboration with other government agencies, customs enforcement, and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, this document here just talks about like what they kind of found and their idea for the uses of them and what they're going to do as far as how effective they are and if they're going to actually start to use them or not and blah, blah, blah. So again, it goes into all that stuff. So you can see all the, again, great info, great stuff, good fun, right? So those links are there too. And then just some more stuff about, new technologies and materials. Aerostats are enjoying a resurgent, proving to be an inexpensive surveillance solution for military and homeland security applications. And again, they're just talking about why it's a viable piece of equipment. I'm gonna leave it right there, because guess what? The next video I'll do, we'll talk about where these three detention centers are. So again, it kind of goes along the lines of monitoring the funding and looking for the changes in the laws. So anyway, that's it for this one.